Donald Trump will be sentenced on the 10th in just a few days. This is pretty weird. He's going to receive no penalty. I guess they've surrendered, but they didn't want to just do it directly. So, of course, Donald Trump was convicted on 34 counts of falsifying business records. The story is complete and utter BS. I'll break it down for you for those that don't know the context. And so we didn't know what was going to happen because Trump is president-elect. He's got Secret Service detail. They're going to really try to put him in prison. How do you have a man get convicted of 34 counts and you don't put him in prison? Strange, isn't it? Well, it appears that they're opting to just sentence him to nothing. What is this? I don't think they have any moves. I believe that Donald Trump needs to send his DOJ to New York and start arresting these people. And this proves it. There's nothing they could have done. They can't cancel the conviction. They were hoping it would stop Trump from winning. They made a bad bet. And if they sentence Donald Trump on January 10th and give him no penalty, it proves that they had nothing. They lied. Trump should send in the DOJ. Now, Trump himself is filing to have this canceled. He wants the sentencing just thrown out outright. But I'll tell you what I want to see. I don't want Trump to throw it out. I think that's silly. They're saying there's no penalty, but we don't know for sure. I mean, he might walk in. Next thing we know, they say lock him up. So is Trump really going to show up on January 10th? Talk about a gambit. I want to see the DOJ move in and arrest these people. I want Merchan subpoenaed, investigated, and I believe he should be charged. I believe there is evidence. It is likely that he committed crimes. Let me break it down for you. It is called conspiracy against rights. Now, based on what we know publicly, it would appear that they all did. Let me tell you. So the story, for those that don't know, is that Donald Trump instructed his lawyer to pay a porn star to silence her over damaging information in an election. There's a lot of problems here. There's no real proof that he did. More importantly, even if he did, it's a misdemeanor, not a felony. So how did they get 34 felony counts? They claimed that the falsification of business records was in furtherance of another crime. What was that other crime? We have no idea. It's never been proven. Well, that's strange. That's why I say it's a clear and obvious conspiracy against rights. The law enforcement apparatus, the judicial apparatus in New York, was lying to try and put Trump in prison to stop him from winning an election. They lost. Ulysses S. Grant wrote this great letter, which I read oh so long ago, where he talked about the right of a people to rebel. And he basically said of the Civil War in the United States, you have a right to challenge those bonds and those who rule over you. But if you lose, they will then subjugate you. He basically was like, look, I get it. If you want to fight back, you can. But just know, if you lose everything. That's what I see here. They wanted to go to war against Donald Trump. They lose. They now lose everything. They wanted to play this dirty lawfare game. Donald Trump needs to throw the book at them. We as a nation cannot survive if they are playing games like this. USA Today reporting. A New York judge upheld the felony conviction of Trump, setting sentencing for January 10th, Friday, but said Trump would receive no prison or probation. Judge Juan Merchan had agreed to Trump's early request to postpone sentencing until after the election, but he said there is no legal reason to stop it from happening before Trump takes office again on January 20th. It is incumbent upon this court to set this matter down for the imposition of sentence prior to January 2025. Here's where it gets interesting. 34 felony counts. If they do not give Donald Trump prison or probation, how many existing cases will file a suit claiming unfair treatment? How many white-collar criminals are serving prison for something comparable? And they're going to say, whoa, whoa, whoa. When it was Donald Trump, you didn't give him any penalties. That's unfair. And they might try to argue, look, they're different cases, but the legal challenge, I think, will be likely. Merchan said an unconditional discharge appears to be the most viable solution so that Trump could pursue his appeals. Under New York law, that means a sentence without incarceration, fine, or probation. Stephen Chung, a Trump spokesperson, said Merchan's ruling called the ruling a direct violation of the Supreme Court's ruling in July that former presidents are shielded from criminal charges for actions related to their official duties while in office. Trump should be able to continue his transition to return to the White House unobstructed by the sentencing, Chung said. This lawless case should never have been brought, and the Constitution demands that it be immediately dismissed. Well, over at the Wall Street Journal, the news from this morning is that Trump is seeking to have it thrown completely out. President-elect is scheduled to be sentenced later this week. Trump launched an effort to block his sentencing set for later this week, arguing the trial judge wrongly scheduled it before his return to the White House. Lawyers for Trump asked Justice Juan Merchan, who oversaw the trial that led to Trump's conviction of 34 felonies, to put all proceedings in the case on hold while the president-elect pursues appeals of recent rulings. The lawyers said they also plan to ask a state appeals court to intervene in the matter. Forcing the president to defend a criminal case, especially at a sentencing hearing 10 days before he is due to become president again, violates Trump's presidential immunity, his lawyers wrote in the filing made public Monday. I agree. Even outside of the case, think about this. The president he's elected. Everybody knew about this case. Democrats wouldn't shut up about it, and people chose to elect Donald Trump. He cannot be obstructed moving into the White House right now. I think Trump should, I got to be honest, Trump should just ignore it. I want to see them play that game. Trump should come out and say, I will not abide by, nor will I attend a sentencing hearing. Thank you and have a nice day. What are they going to do about it? They're going to send state patrol to D.C.? Donald Trump must send the DOJ to investigate on conspiracy against rights. I don't care what Democrats think, and I'm done playing these games. You know it. I know it. The charges are bunk. There was no underlying crime. It was never proven by the state. You can't charge someone for it unless it was proven in a court of law. That's called due process. You want to try and lock Trump up, obstruct him in any way? So be it. Trump should send in the DOJ conspiracy against rights. And you know what? I'm not a lawyer. I'm sure there are other charges that could be investigated that are clearly at play here. I don't know. But I'm telling you, this cannot be allowed to stand. They're going to mention Trump has cast the case as politically motivated. Oh, come on. Who thinks it's anything other than that? If Democrat says it's a real case, they're lying and they know it. It's all rigged in this case against me, a case against a political opponent, me. A spokesman for Bragg said prosecutors would file their response with the court this afternoon. Last week, Merchan denied Trump's bid to toss the jury's verdict. The judge said that he found no legal impediment to sentencing the president-elect and that the proceeding needed to take place before he is sworn in. How much you think? They're saying that this is going to be with no prison time to lure Trump to New York so they could actually arrest him. I don't know, because I have questions. If Donald Trump shows up in New York City on the 10th and they say, we are remanding the defendant to custody, he does have Secret Service protections, but he's not the president. So what happens if he can't attend his inauguration? Now, there are a bunch of leftists, liberals, who believe a conspiracy theory that Kamala Harris will become the president. What's the argument? Trump shows up for sentencing. They say, you know what? I changed my mind. Prison. Bang. Then what? There's no inauguration. Trump can't be inaugurated, and Trump won't have any authority to actually send in the troops to New York to free him. I don't think any of that happens. But who knows? If I were to tell you in 2020 in January that they'd lock the country down for 2 years and force you to get a vaccine and wear a mask, you wouldn't believe me either. So think about this scenario. Trump shows up in New York and is remanded. He is not the president and has no authority to direct anything. Come Inauguration Day, Trump in prison can't be sworn in as president. So who gets sworn in? No idea. What a weird situation. What do you think happens? I really don't buy it. I don't believe it because these things never happen. And, oh boy, would this country fall into chaos if they tried to pull that off. I don't know what you'd do, though. I don't know. Honestly, what's the constitutional what does the Constitution dictate for a moment like this? Perhaps this was the plan all along. The question will be if Donald Trump decides to show up in New York. I think Trump should stay in D.C., not go to New York, and he should have private security with him, and that's it. Because I would not put it past New York to try and lock Trump up to block him. I think the chances of it are markedly slim. Very, very slim. Now, there are a lot of J6ers who are happy that come January 20th, Trump will pardon all of them. Interesting. We don't know for sure what will happen. They're saying over 1,000, so not everybody. I don't think all of them should be parted because some of them are probably federal informants. Who knows? But what if they do try to block the inauguration? I think the most likely outcome, 99.999%, is that Trump is going to be there in D.C. He's going to put his hand on the Bible and he's going to be sworn in. No problem. But man, they certainly are setting us up. I'm going to wrap it up there. Smash the like button, share the show with everyone you know, become a member over at timcast.com. The next segment's coming up very soon, and we'll see you all then.